Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Triple Option. Today is Sunday, September the 17th, 2023, and we are looking forward to the NFL week two, but we got to talk college football week three. And what a week it was. And so Mr. 411 is going to give you the 411 today on Triple Option. Grab your favorite drink and get ready for the show. Here we go. Triple Option, everybody. Yes, triple option. Here we go. Week three. That intro was brought to you by none other than Jones Music Company, LLC. Check out Terrence Jones. All you have to do is email them at Jones Music Company, LLC at Gmail. Check them out. They make great hits. Check us out on TikTok. Type in Mr. 411 on TikTok or use the Q code that's on the screen right now. And check us out over there at TikTok. We have some Easter eggs over there. We have some things that may not be said on shows or on episodes, but we have them hidden there and great reviews over there. Nice videos that you can check out. So support us there at TikTok. Type in MisterFourOneone. That spells Mr. 411. Well, we got to get into it. I mean, the game of the night. It was late for the people on the East Coast. Many people on the east side of the United States was checking out the game and probably dozed off, and then they wake up the next morning and find out the big result. And we'll go no other place over to Boulder, Colorado, with Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes. And man, what a week it was over there in Colorado. There was all kind of shows all week. 60 Minutes, First Take, Pat McAfee show, Big Noon, and College Game Day. So everybody is supporting Coach Prime in Colorado. It's sad that many of these entities right here didn't support Coach Prime at Jackson State, and as well as other celebrities and so on and so forth. But we'll leave it there. This game has a lot coming up as far as a lot of combustion. And I'm going to tell you right here, Coach Prime already said some things here. He said this to Coach, reference to Coach Novell, the coach of Colorado State, because in an interview where the coach for Colorado State, the head coach, was basically, on the weekly interviews that coaches have with the local radio and media, he mentioned that, as an adult, he takes off his glasses and hat when he speaks to other people, especially adults. And Coach Prime took exception to that. And there you have it. It's that's more combustion, more motivation, according to Coach Prime, that he passed along to his team. And so he said at the conclusion of this game, keep those cameras rolling. So, man, you want to see what happens at the end. Coach Prime is a great marketer. He does a great job at taking things and utilizing it for his advantage. And speaking of that, the glasses, all right, he has the sunglasses, and not only that, the ticket sales have just boomed at Colorado. if you go back in the day, you could go to Colorado game for $78. Probably can get the tickets the day of if you wanted to, and you could sit where you want to. But now look at the average price is $206. That's the average price. Colorado's making they're making millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars um, with the Coach Prime acquisition. They technically haven't even paid him yet, but they had the vision, and they knew that if they can get Coach Prime over there to Colorado, that they would generate just so much economic power, impact for their community, and credit to Colorado. That's what they're doing. It's just kind of sad that Coach Prime didn't do this for another HBCU. He felt like he had to just go to Colorado, I guess. But if it didn't work out at Jackson State, there was other HBCU programs like Arkansas Pine Bluff. They were looking for a coach. Bethune-Cookman with the Ed Reed situation certainly needed another coach. And I'm certain that each program would have definitely taken a close look at Coach Prime, and maybe it could have worked there. But we're going to save that for a future show. And that's what I mean by Easter eggs, giving you little things to just put in the back of your mind and think about for future episodes. Now, Coach Prime is definitely great at this. You know the type of players he brought into Jackson State. IMG Academy down in Bradenton, Florida. They have another elite player, and he was on an unofficial visit to Colorado last night. And so he was able to witness the great game that it was between Colorado State and the Colorado Buffaloes. So let's get to the score. It was double overtime affair. Man, what a game. You had a pick six by Shiloh Sanders. You've had miraculous plays after play after play after play for quarterback Shador Sanders. Both of them are the sons of head coach Deion Sanders. They did deliver. But if you look at the stats down at the bottom, I mean, this game was definitely explosive. Using that word combustion again, it was just a shootout, and it was a fantastic game. You got to give credit to Brown, the fourth wide receiver at Colorado State. He had a monster game as well. Quarterback had a good game as well, Fowler over at Colorado State. But again, Shiloh Sanders delivered, Edwards delivered, Harrison delivered, and even Weaver delivered. It was just a great game. The defensive lineman for Colorado State stood out. He definitely was in the backfield all night. He gave that offensive line of Colorado fits, and but there was a crucial play in the game where he was called for targeting, and that eventually knocked him out the game in a crucial part of that game. Here's Shiloh Sanders again on this Heisman Trophy race here. He's leading the race, in my opinion, because he has everything going for him. He has the performance. He has the head coach, the father, the movement. I think he's the leader in the clubhouse right now, and has played better competition than Caleb Williams at this point. And so I think Shador Sanders is the leader right now for the Heisman race. But again, let's not forget that there was other players on this team that delivered. Dalen Edwards, he delivered with 188 total yards, 4 TDs. I mean, just come on, this man is just doing it all. And so monster game there. You have Travis Hunter. He was taken to the hospital in this game, and we're going to show you why. And I want to talk about this in just a moment. So let's take a look at this quick video, and you'll see why the two-way star was taken to the hospital.
Things got heated in the pregame.
Got to look at Sean Lewis, the offensive coordinator, moment ago downfield, incomplete, but a flag down intended for Hunter, who took a shot afterwards by Henry Blackburn. And now some word, Shedeur Sanders coming to the aid of his #1 target there.
Yeah, look, I'll tell you, as a former safety, that's a very dumb play on the part of Henry Blackburn.
Now, outside of Colorado State and Colorado fans, people would be lying if they act like they really are into this rivalry. This is already a rivalry, and even Coach Prime admitted that he's not really familiar with all the ins and outs of the Colorado State-Colorado rivalry. And I think that's part of what Coach Norvell over at Colorado State was buying into as well when he made the statements about Coach Prime and wearing his shades and hat and everything while talking to people. It's all about feeding into this rivalry. So you couple that with the clapback, if you will, by Coach Prime, and these coaches are the reason for that result right there with Hunter. Let me know if you agree. You can post that in the comments. And on YouTube, you can post in the comments about that. But the coaches are the ones that set the tone. They are the ones that started this, and that's why I use the word combustion in the title today, is because they started this fire with all the back and forth, with all the rallying and all that kind of stuff. You get the kids, they're the ones that follow you. There's a circle here. You have the adults, you have the coaches, then you have the fans, you have the players. Coaches are acting a certain way, fans act a certain way, the kids are going to act a certain way. Yes, I'm saying kids, they're young adults. Some of them are teenagers, some of them are young adults. They are taking cue from the grown people. And so when you do these kind of things, which again, I personally don't have a problem with it. Just know that there's repercussion for that and for your actions and things like that. And so that was a cheap shot. And that cheap shot, it has now, according to reports, Travis Hunter's going to miss several weeks. And that's a shame, because now Colorado is really getting into the part of their schedule where they're going to face teams that they definitely are not going to be more likely not favored to beat. Or if not, with the Oregon game, it's going to be probably close by Vegas. But then you have USC coming up as well. And these were the benchmark games that everybody had on the calendar. And it would be nice to have had Travis Hunter for these games. So this again goes into where, let's see what kind of depth Colorado has this season. Coach Prime is going to get reinforcements coming in. They're just beating down the door, calling his phone to get here for next season. But it'll be interesting to see how things go forward. But just remember, when the coaches are acting a certain way in the media and doing all these things, and Deion is not, he's a part of this issue too, because he made something bigger than what it actually was. Now, he utilized it for marketing with the shades and grossed $1.2 million just in one day of selling those shades. But you infuse that kind of attitude into your players, you see what happened before the game, and you see things that were said, and right or wrong, you see the players from Colorado State retaliated on Travis Hunter and took a cheap shot. So there's wrong to go all the way around. But ultimately, you got to put this on the coaches, because they're the leaders. They're the ones that set the example. And, neither one of them took what I would say the higher road or take a more humble approach about things. And so these type of things can happen. And so you have to keep that in mind when you're acting certain ways. All right, so let's go and get into some other scores here. We're going to talk about something, and this is just spinning off of Coach Prime. Okay, not initially when he said he was going to Jackson State, it was because he wanted to level the playing field. He wanted to level the playing field in the world of college football. And remember now, we're talking college football. And so why can't elite players go to smaller schools, FCS schools, HBCU schools, however you want to look at that? And Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders, players like that, they went to Jackson State, and they're doing the same things that they were doing there. Just that the media doesn't give leagues like the SWAC, the MEAC, or FCS schools, even like a North Dakota State, Sacramento State, places where they just don't want to give those schools the credit that they have talent there. And so if you look at it here, North Carolina Central, the team that defeated Coach Prime just last season in the Celebration Bowl in December of 2022, the Black College National Football Championship game, North Carolina Central, and they're currently ranked number one as the number one HBCU school in the land. They went to UCLA to battle the Bruins, who are ranked somewhere maybe 25 in the nation as of yesterday, somewhere in that 25 to 20 to 30 range. And it was a blowout, okay, to say the least. UCLA destroyed them. They beat North Carolina Central 59-7. But it was a great experience for North Carolina Central for them to put themselves to the test to play against Power 5 school. And so it just shows the disparity between FCS schools and Power 5 FBS schools. It's just a major difference. And there's something that we're going to talk about on a future episode about the disparity, because it is a disparity and it's a seismic gap in between the institutions. And so we'll get in more detail about that down the line. So get ready for that. And other news in the HBCU world, we're going to get to that in just a second here. There was a big game in New York, which was technically played in New Jersey. And there were two teams from the state of Georgia, my state. You have my brother's school, the Albany State Golden Rams. He was drum major there. And they battled the Morehouse Maroon Tigers. This is a great experience for both programs. They had to travel up to New York City, play this game right there in New Jersey and at the MetLife Stadium. And it was a great experience for both teams. And it was a very good game. But Albany State was able to pull away and hold on to their lead. And they battled a game Morehouse team. Morehouse was 1-9 last season, and they're predicted to be last in their conference. And both of these are Division II schools, by the way. And but Albany State prevailed there, and just a very fun game to watch. I was definitely intrigued by seeing Big Daddy Kane at halftime. I thought that was excellent. If you don't know anything about Big Daddy Kane, go to YouTube, look him up. He is one of the greatest rappers of all time, and so it was nice to see him there as well. But it was definitely nice to see this game on Peacock, which is the extra version of NBC. This game was also on CNBC as well, and so great to see a nationally televised game between the two institutions there. All right, let's move over to the Power 5 schools here, some of those schools, and let's get into the let's talk about Alabama Crimson Tide. I wish Coy was here today. He's unable to be here to talk about his Tide, but man, 17-3. It was bad weather there. No excuse on that, but just to give you a little backdrop, they did have a major delay with weather, a lot of rain. The terrain is definitely difficult there. And Alabama with the 17-3 win. A lot of people say that this was not an impressive win. Let's get into the stats. And the quarterback play is definitely questionable in Alabama, but the rushing attack is not questioned. Alabama ran the ball. They ran the ball a lot in this game, and I think that's something that they're going to have to lean on this season. I do think Coach Saban needs to just decide who's the quarterback, roll with that quarterback, rely on your running game, and get back to where you had a defense. Like Alabama was known for having defense, big linemen, running the ball. So let that carry your team. And I think he would be okay if he kind of goes that direction. Let's see some things here. Nick Saban. There's some stats there with Nick Saban, and you compare him to what's been going on so far. The quarterback play It wasn't well at all, like we were saying earlier, but they did win the game, and so it was managed to survive and advance. And we'll see what's going forward with Alabama. We'll get Coy on and get some more inside information on Alabama. But Nick Saban, I'm telling you, he has been the man for a long time now. Coach Prime praises Nick Saban. Alabama has the championships, the national titles, and Nick Saban is a major part of that. But if you look here, he has somebody right on his heels, and that's Kirby Smart one state over at the University of Georgia. Over the last 98 games at their current schools, you can see the numbers, basically mirror images here. And so Nick Saban, I'm wondering, is it time? Is Father Time stepping in? Is it about time for him to kind of move in another direction here? And I'm going to give you something to chew on in a little bit in reference to this. But let's go see what happened with Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs. Man, they did not look impressive for a while in this game. 24-14 over the South Carolina Gamecocks. As you can see there with some of the stats, you can take a look at them yourself. But it was more so about Georgia's run game yesterday. It was raining there too as well, but that should not have really been a factor. This should have been an easy win for the Bulldogs. We're going to hear more from the showcase. We're also going to hear from Jonathan Bone Heron. We'll hear from them later on in the week on Damn Good Dogs, and they'll break this down even more. And so I just want to make sure I share the score with you all. Now, moving back over to FCS action, Jackson State, which is a team that I still support, even though Coach Prime doesn't, they fell short to Texas State. Gave up 77 points. That is a ton of points. They did score 34. But Texas State, ladies and gentlemen, they have arrived. This is an impressive win by Texas State. This is really no shame to Jackson State with 60 new players coming in because of the departure of Coach Prime. A lot of players also decided to depart too. So they were basically following Coach Prime. And Jackson State has to revamp. They do have a quarterback, Brown. He is a solid quarterback. Played at Virginia, played in the SEC, also played at another school before that. But he's definitely a solid quarterback. Put up some good numbers. The wide receivers did well for Jackson State. The number of 34 points is fine, but that 77 is tough. But I'm telling you, Texas State is legit. This team beat Baylor this season. And so as you can see right there, they beat Baylor 42-31. And as you can see, Jackson State scored more than Baylor did against Texas State. And that's what I mean by that. So and it's not over for Jackson State. That was just a way to see where they lie when they go and play another level, if you will, another division of football. And so there's a lot that has to be desired there. There's a lot of reasons behind that. We'll get into it later. But this quarterback here, Finney, out of Texas State, this guy, he is definitely. Oh, excuse me there. Had some technical difficulties there for a second. He's definitely legit. Legitimate quarterback, big time. Keep an eye on Texas State. They're doing big things. And I said earlier about Alabama, once you take a look at them, we'll take a look at the University of Alabama and the situation going on there with Saban, where I feel like it's a time for another change there. And if whoever is the first to get to Coach Prime is going to win this thing, I think the University of Georgia they're set on Kirby Smart. That's going to be their coach for the for the foreseeable future. But Alabama, I think if they want to make that move to stay near the top, they need to get this guy right here. They need to get Coach Prime. Coach Prime has said nothing but glowing things about Nick Saban. They're in commercials together. He would be a successor. He already brings players in. He already brings celebrities, and everybody else jumps on the bandwagon and things like that. But you power that, you couple that with Alabama and all their resources, all their alumni, all the money that they dump into that program, all the talent that's in the southeastern part of the United States, and they would end up becoming a superpower. So keep an eye on that because it possibly can happen. One of the schools that Coach Prime wanted to coach before he even landed the job at Jackson State was Florida State. And that's a school where Coach Prime played at. So let's take a look at that score from Florida State today. From yesterday. The number 3 team in the land right now. They eke one out against Boston College. Boston College has a quarterback, Thomas Castellanos. This guy right here is a tough quarterback. He's been putting up numbers this season. He's not been talked about a lot. So look him up and just see what's going on there because this quarterback is really making things happen, even in a losing effort. But he definitely is a difference maker. Florida State was able to pull it away, and they was able to escape out of Boston College with a big victory. And here's Thomas. He's out of Waycross, Georgia. And so I'm not sure how he made it all the way to Boston College, but he did. And so congratulations to him in the effort so far. Major upset here. Sacramento State takes down Stanford. They win in Stanford and take down the Cardinal. Tremendous victory there. Another upset. Wow, South Alabama. The Jaguars take out Oklahoma State. Take them out. And so 33-7 too. It wasn't even close. That's an impressive victory. And South Alabama's been putting together a program over the last couple seasons. And quietly, they're becoming one of those teams that you have to really pay attention to. Texas State, South Alabama, those are programs that are really, really, really on the move. So keep an eye on that. All right, the backyard brawl. University of Pittsburgh, the Panthers fall to West Virginia, 17-6. The Oregon State Beavers with 7 consecutive victories for the first time since 2000. This is impressive. So their last 7 games, they've won. Definitely keep a congratulations there to Oregon State. And we're going to wrap things up today with the SEC. The University of Florida with an upset victory over Tennessee. And yes, it's an upset. But one thing that we all, well, not all, a lot of us did not account for. I'm certain the Florida fans did account for this. That's why I can't say all. But when you play in the swamp, they're definitely tough there. And Tennessee has definitely had problems playing in the swamp. And so they are on a losing streak when it comes to playing there. And it got chippy at the end of the game, but the Gators prevailed. That's a big win there for Florida. And definitely a setback for Tennessee because, you know, in that East, the SEC East, you already have the Georgia Bulldogs who are going to likely win that division. But now you have the Gators with a head-to-head matchup victory over the Volunteers. So Tennessee has their work cut out for them for the remainder of the season. All right. Definitely appreciate you all tuning in today. Make sure you hit that like, that subscribe, that notification bell, and make sure you share because sharing is caring. This was Triple Option Week 3, and we'll see you all next week. I'm Mr. 411, and I'm out of here. We'll see you later.